The fallen Prince Loki is freed, and bro just used the strongest attack in all of One Piece, with his next step being a face-off against the original monster trio.
That's what I've been waiting for.
But the situation gets worse as we cut to the underworld where Loki is finally freed. And not only is my guy massive, he is strong enough to scare the shit out of his older brother, even with a sea stone shackle on his leg. Moreover, he orders them to remove his shackles, threatening them with the knowledge of Elbaf's weakness, fire. Well, you know, considering their home is literally just a big ass tree in a forest, fire is its worst enemy. But the way Loki generates his flame is through his almighty hammer. It is a play on words, which the literal translation means iron thunder, and that's exactly what it can do, as it is the literal iteration of Mjolnir, the hammer of the thunder god Thor. Now, a common misconception is that Thor's powers come from the hammer. However, it is quite the opposite. It is said that he destroyed all the weapons that were forged for him, since none of them could withstand his power until Mjolnir came. The hammer is more of a conduit for Thor's powers and not his source, meaning the same can be said about Loki. So either Loki himself has devil fruit lightning powers, which he uses Ragnir as a conduit for, or both Loki and Ragnir have their own fruits where the hammer is the conduit. Because why would Loki give his legendary devil fruit to his hammer, which he fought so hard to retrieve, to the point that he got chained to the giant tree for years? This would also answer the big question: who the heck left Ragnir next to big man Loki? If we take Hjarden as an average height of the giants, this hammer is much bigger than him. Furthermore, we know that Loki is accused of being an arsonist, a madman who wants to destroy all of Elbaf. But what if the reason Loki was after the legendary fruit to give his hammer was so that it could help calm his powers down? His abilities, when used, might just affect an area indiscriminately, making it dangerous for everyone. But with his hammer, he can channel it and use it appropriately. It's also possible that none of the giants were strong enough to move the hammer away from Loki, similar to the myth of Mjolnir, where Thor was the only one who could wield it. However, due to the hammer being a devil fruit wielder too, it had its own will and would crash out or try to free its master Loki when separated from him. Regardless, we finally get to see it in action, as with just one strike, Loki hits the Atom Tree, causing lightning to erupt on impact. And if lightning hits a tree, it's always followed by fire, as Ripley stated in chapter 1141. This all but confirms that Loki was the one who caused the lightning attack during his rampage 6 years ago, which led to the fire in Haugen village, where the giants would eventually just cut off the branch to save Elbaf. Now, this attack was so massive that the people in the Sun World could also see the fire and lightning from the underworld. Loki's attack is undisputedly the biggest destructive power we have witnessed in One Piece. Everything in Elbaf is giant-sized, right? In front of the Atom Tree, even giants look like insects, but Loki's lightning can be seen reaching heights of insane proportions. Even Luffy's Bajrangan would pale in comparison. Yeah, so Loki is no joke, and Luffy is in for a treat. The guy tanked Gunko's multiple attacks and Shamrock's Cerberus, and still has the power to stand up regardless of his sea stone shackles. A thing to note here is that literally everyone is freaking out as Loki smashes the Atom Tree, but my guy Zoro is locked in. This is just another stepping stone for the right hand of the future Pirate King. And let's be honest, Zoro has the right to be skeptical about this entire situation. He had to 2v1 Gaban with his captain, who is a Yonko by the way, had to scream at Luffy to dodge an attack that could possibly be fatal, and that old man was also afraid of Loki. This entire time in Elbaf, everyone keeps yapping about how scary and nefarious Loki is, yet his captain wants to free this criminal. As the vice captain, it's Zoro's role to be skeptical in this way. But regardless, it is his captain's orders and the first mate has to oblige. And so Zoro finally gives in, deciding to keep one cuff intact at Loki's ankle so he would still be weak if he decided to go on another rampage. Meanwhile, Luffy wants to go to the village's doctor to treat Loki's wounds. However, getting a doctor from the village to treat Loki would alert the other giants to his liberation, which would eventually result in the Straw Hats being banished, but Luffy gives zero fucks. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button and watch this other video on screen to enjoy more peak fiction.